Me, Geek Curio, aka Andy. So in today's show, we're going to be looking at trying to get a lot of these Cursed City miniatures painted. Now, a lot of them have been primed and Zenithal highlighted already, and I'll be honest, I'm probably going to do this as a bit of a batch paint. So there are quite a lot to get through, and I'm going to have to really make sure that I don't have anywhere elsewhere, because I think there is one missing, and this room needs a good sort out. So I have made a start on some of them. So this Orky guy, he's been done up very much like the Hulk, Incredible Hulk. This fella, who kind of looks like a mix between Orko from He-Man and Van Helsing, I've just done him in a very leathery look. I think quite a few of you were sticking around for... Oh, hang on, hydrate. And yes, I actually got water for the hydrate because I'm trying not to drink too much coffee. This was the Skeleton Knight that I mentioned earlier. I don't know if he is actually a Skeleton Knight, but he looks really, really cool. And I think we might make a start with this one. So Carlos mentioned Night Before Christmas. It's Jack somebody, isn't it? So I'm just going to get a Night Before Christmas. Just going to get a reference photo up so I can have a look. Oh, so it's white and black. Somehow I was thinking about pumpkins. Jack Skellington, yes. Thank you. So I was thinking very much more about pumpkins, but no, that'll work. And what I'll probably do is I'll do a black metal for the armor. I use my usual skeleton techniques as well, but I think we'll make a start on the base first. So I'm going to move all those out of the way. I need to sort myself out with a palette and a brush. This one's a bit... Yeah, I literally have palettes like playing cards, by the way. So the idea is once I actually run out of palettes, I will actually wash them. I was washing them quite religiously originally. So I know I have a black gut metal in here. So I'll put that to one side. Except I can't see it, so I'm going... No, hang on, there it is. Right, so we've got black metal. We're going to do the stone, so I'm probably going to go with a... I don't know whether to go with a sandstone look or a different type of look. So what sort of look do you think we should have on the stone? So we're looking at a broken pillar on the bottom here. I'll get my skeleton colours ready as well, which is going to be Xandri Dust, Screaming Skull, yep, and I'm trying to remember my other colour that I use. I'll just go with that for now. I'll grab some sepia as well. I need to know how you're eating coffee, Carlos. Is it just eating the beans before they're roasted or after they're roasted? I'll admit I'm a little bit confused as to that one. Eating the beans after roasted. Is that nice? I mean, like I said, I can actually say I have eaten a spoonful of freeze-dried coffee, and I remember that being quite revolting. So eating beans after roasted, not sure if I can imagine that. So I'm just looking at colours. I'm thinking of doing... Trying to think where Carrick Stone is, because that's the one that I like using for certain stone effects. shanty bone, that's one I need. Yeah, normally I know exactly where every single one of my paints are, and I can't think where the hell Carrick stone is. I'm really bad at writing down my recipes as well. They literally are all in my head. Carrick stone, there you are. Right, so I'm going to make a start with Xandri dust, print shaker. It does sound interesting, actually. So I know a mutual friend of ours, Corey, roasts his own coffee. So I am a little bit intrigued as to how that would work. For some reason I now want to eat coffee just to try the snack. So this Xandri dust is definitely going to be to go on my I need to buy more list. It's going to mix it up with this is an old brush, so don't worry. Actually, I'm just basing, so I'm just going to use this old brush anyway. I know Hamish is probably screaming watching me do this. Alright, so I'm just going to work on the base for now and any bone areas that I can see. So I'm going to be doing the bone in a recipe that I did the skeletons the other week in, and that would be Xandri dust at the base, which is what I'm working with at the moment. Shanty bone as a layer, and then a really strong dry brush of Screaming Skull. But I'll also be using this wash, Seraphim Sepia, as a recess shade on pretty much the whole thing as well. So I just need to get into that skull in there. And I am being messy deliberately because it's recessed underneath the helmet. We have a hydrate. That is interesting. Coffee beans before roasted are like green bananas. Tell the interesting thing about bananas, and I only realised this when I went to my wife's country, and that is that you get bananas in Asia are completely different. They're smaller, they're thicker, there's way more varieties than we ever see over here in Europe. I think pretty much we deal with only the one variety in Europe that I know of anyway. I'm not an expert in bananas by no means, but it was just really weird seeing all the different types. I wonder if that's the same in South America as well. Yeah, I think it's sepia goes back to Roman times, if I understand. It's they used to dye everything, and they got the dye actually from a fish, I believe. I might be wrong about that. That's just a tiny bit of useless knowledge that somehow has been retained and regurgitated just now because you mentioned fish. But I might be entirely wrong. Banana is the base of some diets in Latin America. I went to school with a lot of West Indian guys, and they would have bananas fried, and yeah, baked into dishes as well. whereas over in the UK, at least anyway, it's kind of seen as a snack or a dessert type thing. But no, I absolutely love bananas. I absolutely love banoffee pie, and I have had bananas fried. I've actually had banana in a curry, believe it or not, and that's delicious. That was, for me, one of my favourite curries at my local curry place. So, according to my friend who is actually Indian, it's not actually a typical curry. I think it's just something they created for themselves. But yeah, banana curry was absolutely beautiful. Platano. So is platano a type of banana, or is it another name for bananas? I always love it when Carlos is on the stream because I normally learn something. Bananas originally had big seeds. Is that at the base? So if I'm peeling a banana, it's at the very, very base, isn't it? Because I remember when I was younger, um, yeah, you didn't eat the bottom bit of the banana because the seed was massive. Probably not as massive as it is originally, but it's one of those things that I have noticed that the banana seeds aren't as big nowadays. And that's probably down to some sort of horticultural know-how. Right. Okay, so what I've done is I've managed to get all the bone areas. There's a lovely bit where the armor breaks off here, and you can actually see the rib cage and the arm bone. I don't know what that's called. I'm not a doctor. Um, Sticking out, which is great because I think it's going to really break up the color of the armor as well. So what I'm going to do while I'm waiting for that to dry, I am actually going to make a start on the armor. And what I've got is Model Air Black, but this is a metallic black. And I know it says air, but I do actually use it as a regular paint. And I really love the Vallejo air paints because they just seem to be the right consistency. Very, very little I need to do. I literally just paint straight out of the pot. Yes, I do remember them. I'm quite sure they sometimes still are, but they used to run through the body of the banana, and it's like a pattern, isn't it? Okay, I got another one of my really old. This is actually a different brush. I've got two of these. I never throw a brush away now. But like I say, it's just basing, so I'm going to be okay with it. Uh, I am aware that you probably don't see anywhere near as good as you on my stream as you do with Hamish's. So I am planning on improving the lighting situation in the near future. I'm actually thinking about moving the room around again because I've got a bed in here which is not used, and I bought the bed in the intention that people could stay over, but I made a few mistakes. One of them being it's an extremely cheap bed, and I wouldn't want to sleep on it, so I don't think I'd even let a guest sleep on it, a member of my family or a friend. And the only reason it's there is because it's got storage underneath, and I'm just losing about 1.5 meters square in this room. So I'm actually thinking about getting rid of it completely. Even the pets don't want to sleep on it. It's just not comfortable at all. I absolutely love this metallic black. It is the best ever. I mean, the effect that's put on there is just really, really good. Makes me look like a better painter than I am. Right, I will be asking advice on what colour I should do the cloak. I know Pete the Paint suggested pink earlier. Oddly enough, pink is my favourite colour, so I do have quite a wide selection of pinks. And if everyone wants me to go with that, I'll go with that. It will be a dirty pink, however. Oh, sorry, we don't have cats. We have dogs. I love cats, but my daughter is allergic to cats, so yeah, we're not allowed to have cats until she moves out. Although, to be honest with you, the dogs probably wouldn't like it at all. Actually, I like the idea of that, a chocolate covered roasted coffee bean. Go on, Carlos, what colour? Purple. Purple, I think, would look really, really good on it, to be honest. So I'm with you there. And I might be able to do some layering because I've got a couple of nice purples. Okay. Yeah, I haven't done some layering in a long time, so I don't feel like I've painted properly in a long time either. I'm looking forward to doing this actually. Right, before I start work on the cloak, I'm going to put a shade down of Seraphim Sepia, and I'm only going to be aiming for the bone areas at the moment, because I'm going to be doing something a bit different with the stone areas. So I tend to go a little bit heavy on washes, especially with this being a GW stuff, because they do put in a lot of detail, which basically begs for the wash to just go on and sink in. Sorry, I realize people might not be able to see if I got it there. And we got a skull down there. Okay, happy with that. Right, so purple. Let's burgundy, screamer pink. Got two very different type of purples. You've got like a Nagaroth Knight, which I think goes a little bit more to the blue, and then you've got Demonette Hide, which is a lot lighter. I think I'm going to make a start with Nagaroth Knight. And I've got Xerxes purple and Gene Stealer purple, which I think would go a lot better. So we're going to go that way. Hydrate. So let's get the paint shaker out. And again, I am just basing, so I'm just going to be using my rubbish brushes. Teensy bit of water. And go. it's important that you do this, Pete, because like we say, we're in summer now, and I'm a southerner who lives up north. So when I moved up north, I gradually grew an extra skin layer about an inch thick to get used to the cold. And now I just can't handle the heat at all. Well, I can handle the heat. It's just I wouldn't be appropriate if I was online handling the heat because I probably need to be topless or something. So when you go on, I normally go on holiday and I have like a summer holiday in somewhere. I've been to Cuba and Spain and other places, and I don't mind that heat because it's kind of like I paid for it. There's a pool, and I can just walk around in shorts and nothing else. But when we get free heat in the UK, um, I can't just walk around in shorts. I don't have a pool, and I just seem to be sweating like anything. But it's very British of us to complain about the weather. I'm very tempted to actually do pink hair because he's got kind of like hair, and I know it sounds like I'm doing it as a joke, but I think pink hair would actually really look good with the purple cloak. Yeah, I'm pretty much the same as well. I pretty much I'm just always warm. Um, I give off heat like a furnace as well. You could probably like Some of my friends would, if they're cold, they just literally sit next to me. Family members as well. Right, this lovely bit behind where I'm struggling to actually get the paintbrush into. So, not a problem. I'm only going to paint over it once. And the staff, the halberd, that is a halberd, isn't it? It's getting a bit of colour on it, but that's not a problem. So has anyone got any plans for this weekend? Anyone doing chores or anyone going out? Or have you got any hobby you're going to be doing? Realise I've not done the back of the boot here. Oh, excellent, Bellarian. So hopefully you won't react badly to it like I did. My wife with the trooper, she literally just took it. Nothing wrong with her whatsoever. Me, I woke up at 3 a.m. sweating, and even the wife said her friend has had the exact same thing as me. So and gaming is always good. I mean, when I get tired of reading books outside, I might do some gaming as well. I just recently got Graveyard Keeper, and I was playing that the other day, and that's quite good. Um, and last night I was supposed to be playing Age of Empires 2 online with some colleagues at work, and no one showed up, so I just did a quick game on my own. They play online. I have no idea how they managed to work so fast, so I just did a bit of practice so I can actually start keeping up with them. Oh, Pete, that's no good. Um, yeah, I'm getting my second jab this month, I think it is, later on in the month. So hopefully it won't be as bad as the first one. And Carlos is interviewing someone tomorrow. Excellent. So I'll find out who that is. I haven't seen your video yet, so I'll be watching that probably after this stream, actually. I really like the in the news. And D&D tonight, which is always good as well. Okay, I think I've literally just been painting on autopilot because I've just gone straight for a bit of layering with the Xerxes purple. So I'm just going to do some of the raised areas. It's all good that everyone's getting vaccinated. Hopefully the world will turn to normal soon. I was just so glad I've been able to see my mum. She's been able to pop round. Probably need to give my dad a call as well, see how he's getting on. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little bit more work on the bone. So I'm gonna do some bone layering. So with this, I'm just going to be working on some raised areas. Again, I'm being extremely lazy. When it comes to layering, I really should switch my brush up. Just trying to catch certain areas. So we've got this skull at the bottom here. Oh, hang on, I've just worked out something. He's actually wearing an eye patch. I thought he had like a hat on or something, but he's actually wearing an eye patch. And luckily, I did actually paint that the right colour as well. So, does anyone else ever get that where you're painting something and then once you get to like a later on in the colour, you realise it's actually something else? Some things aren't immediately obvious once you base them. And Pete the Priest is giving me some fish, a fish head. Thank you. Is that for the sepia? Just having a momentary look around. Oh, there we are. I was looking for that Agrax Earth shade. So on the base, we've got a fallen pillar, and we've also got a skull. Now the skull I shaded with sepia, but the stone I'm going to shade with brown, and I'm going to be using different colors to layer it as well. So the idea is hopefully they should look a bit different. Last thing that you want is a stone pillar to look like exactly the same as your bone. Oh, thank you, Bellilurian. I was worried that it was only going to be me. There's sometimes where I'm painting something and I'll look at it, I was like, what the hell is that? And I literally have to go and Google the mini to see what other people have done. I think it's quite prominent in things that don't go well with molds. So a good example would be my Blood Bowl team is orcs, and a lot of their armor is basically held on with leather straps. But the way they do the straps, it looks like a really big, thick, solid piece. Well, it's a lot thicker than a strap of leather anyway, even at that scale. And sometimes it just looks really, really weird. Um, especially when you need to paint the side of it. It's like, I don't particularly want to paint this much of it in a leather color, but I feel I have no choice. I think that's the only gripe that I have with certain minis is tends to be leather straps or belts or anything where, because they have to sculpt it in that way. Rexy-ish. I hope I've said that right. Yes, I'm glad you've said it as well. Thank you. Thank you. So, what have we got next? Hope everyone's able to see us so far. So what I've done so far, just to recap, did Zandri dust on the stone and the bone as a base. On the bone areas, I used Syrupin Sepia as a wash. On the armor, I decided to use Vallejo Black Metallic, which is coming out very, very nice. And I'll probably do a nice trim of that with the Vallejo Steel. And on the cloak, I started off with Nagaroth Nightshade and have layered it with Xerxes Purple. And I will be doing a highlight, a thinner layer of Genestealer Purple as well. Just going to wait for the Seraphim Sepia to dry. In the meantime, let's get that hair pink. Yes, fancy leather is a much thicker material. However, sometimes it's in some areas where it just doesn't go on the body very well. It just gets ridiculously thick. And I know realistically there should be a gap, but they can't mold it at that scale, so it's a shame. But it just doesn't feel right for me. Okay, so we're going to go with pink hair. This one is a freebie that we're given to Pete the Priest. So because Pete the Priest did want something pink, but he hasn't got enough doubloons because he's doing the important job of making sure that Hamish and I are properly hydrated. So I'm just going to base coat his hair with Screamer Pink, which incidentally enough is the same pink that I use for all my bases. So I tend to have this thing where I do the rim of all my bases in Screamer Pink, and that's mainly just so I know that if I ever do play a game, it's very distinguished which models are mine and which are not. Oh, excellent. Thank you very much. Okay. Screamer Pink, actually. Screamer Pink hair looks really good at the moment. Yep, pink is awesome. I'm going to put that back for now. And we will highlight that later with Emperor's Children. I'm just going to give it a shake for now. Okay, Karak Stone is drying. Sorry, the wash on the Karak Stone is drying. So in the meantime, I'm going to grab some steel by Vallejo. Need to do some bottle shaky time. And this is going to be used. I need a pokey stick. Okay, thanks a lot, Valerian. Really appreciate you hanging around. So, oh, that's actually, I don't need a pokey stick. It looks like the paint's just made itself into its own cap. There we go, we got some steel. So I'm going to use steel on the weapons first. So I'm going to put that on the sword. And it's very runny, so it's going to take a little bit longer than most to dry. And also on the metallic areas of the halberd. Excellent. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a dry brush because I am too lazy to do edge highlights. The best one for it. Let's look at my. There you are. And I need. Need to get some kitchen roll. So, assuming most people know how to dry brush. But if you're a lazy sod like me and you've got lots of minis that need painting, it's a good way to quickly get things done on your army. So all I'm doing here is basically a very light dry brush on the armor areas. Like I say, I've already used a black metallic. Yeah, and I think that looks okay. Do a little bit more detail. So certain areas like this extra sword he's got. We've also got a leather belt and we've got some chain mail or just mail. Looks like scale mail actually. Mm. I'm switching over to black because I've just spotted where I've had a little bit of spillage. Okay, happy with that so far. I think all the brushes need to have a good rinse. Okay, what I am going to do very quickly is I'm going to use a bit more Zandri dust and just do the rest of the base. Except I've put it down somewhere and I have no idea where. No, it was there, I just didn't recognize the color. Must be going mad. For some reason, when I do my skeletons, I always tend to imagine them, associate them, in fact, with desert. I don't know whether that's, don't know what the inspiration comes from. Maybe the Tomb Kings, which I don't think exist anymore in Warhammer. Okay, I'm gonna get the Carrick Stone out now. Just notice we've only got 6 minutes left, and there is a very strong chance that I might actually finish this miniature if I can do it in 6 minutes. So, come on, Andy, speed paint, you can do this. Right, so it's just layer of Carrick Stone on the flat surfaces. I'm just using the flat of my brush as well, so all this is doing is just basically making the flat areas look raised and giving the shallow areas a little bit more depth. You do not have to hold any hydrate, sir. I have bottled water. Only got a little bit left. You hydrate away, sir. You don't want me running out of electrolytes before the end of the stream, and then I'll never finish it. Okay, so the halberd needs to be painted, so it's basically just painting a stick. I'm going to go with Dryad bark for no particular reason other than the fact I just really like this brown. It's really weird. It's kind of like a nice dark brown, but it just evokes images of grey as well. And I don't know why, but it just seems right for wood. Well, it's probably why they call it Dryad brown, but it's just nice. I like it anyway. Okay, happy with that. Right, highlight now, purple, Gene Steeder. Savaganda. Okay, this is going to show up a lot, so I'm going to be very careful with this. Made a mess. Okay, happy with that. Let's go over to Emperor's Children. And this is going to be for the pink hair. And this one should just be a quick edge highlight, just to make the hair stand out a bit. Pete the Paint, are you on Twitter? And if you are, do I follow you already? Because I'll do a photograph of this and post it on my Twitter, and I can just tag you in. I'm just looking for a brown. Let's go with Beyblade. Right, just gone with a Baneblade brown, and I'm just going to do the leather belt, which is just holding this sword and his scabbard. And there you are, done. Thank you very much, Pete the Priest. Okay, what I will do is I will post a picture on Twitter. I'll tag Hamish in, so it'll be on my Twitter, which is Geek Curio, and it will also be on, I'll tag Goblin Squire in as well. So thank you very much. Thank you ever so much to everyone who stuck around and chatted with me. It's been an absolute pleasure to spend time with you. I'm going to go and read a book in the garden now. I will next be streaming on Tuesday, but not here. I stream on my YouTube channel on Tuesday. So if you like gaming, me and a good friend of mine actually been playing Crackdown free in co-op, which has been an absolute blast. So if you're interested in that, please check out my YouTube channel. In the meantime, thank you ever so much, and I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Stay safe and take care now. Bye.